my workout this morning.
Okay, I expect that.
It's a tough job, man.
Yeah.
Those things get heavy.
Mike, we couldn't help but notice
Oh.
you. Oh, there you go.
Oh, they are heavy. I thought you were messing around, but
No.
Maybe I'm
they are
the
heavy.
smallest one here.
Who did that? Shame on you, man.
We couldn't help it.
I've done that before. We're just getting on a plane now, and so it's easier to hit them now instead of trying to hit them on the plane or hit them in LA. They were shooting free throws. Normally, what happens if after they get done shooting, if you guys think about it, normally we all come together as a team. And so I'm able to address the group or address this individual or these couple of guys. We didn't come together as a team today. We just went from shooting to continuing to let them shoot their free throws there. And then as soon as they got done, they were allowed to go get ready for the plane. And so that's all I did, just normal stuff, because we didn't come together.
Mike, your comments in postgame last night, they're pretty pointed and pretty, we could tell how angry you were. Just getting away from it a little bit and going.
100%. Now, again, we did some good things. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been up 15 or 18 or whatever we were. And when you go back and watch the film, and obviously, that in the gameplay didn't cause us to lose the game. There were other things that snowballed into that and caused us to be in that position, and that was a big play. It's the reality of it. It was a big play that we could have and should have made, and we didn't. But we addressed it all, not just that play. We addressed all, everything that we felt we could have been a little bit better in throughout the course of the game. One of the things I thought watching the second half, I didn't think we moved the ball as well. Guys, we had 11 sprays in the second half, and literally probably 5 to 6 wide open shots. And we had 13 sprays in the first half, so for us to have 24 sprays, man, I'll take that every single game. Tough part about it, we were 5 for 13 in the first half and 2 for 11 in the second half. And when you touch the paint, move the ball the way that we did, and it hits the right people's hands and they're wide open, and you miss shots, it's tough, but it's part of the game. So then that means what do we have to do on the other end? We can't give up 4 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter. We can't give up, I think, 7 or 8 free throws in the fourth quarter. If a guy is hot, we can't play off of him in the fourth quarter and let him start his move and then us reacting to him, whether it's in transition or off a pin down or even in a pick and roll that we sort of switched and we're body to body. And so there are some things that we did defensively where we know as a group we're a lot better. And then, there's a part of me, we're up 18, I think at the time. Beasley hits a 3. Then he come down in transition and we're nowhere near him. And he hits another 3 and we stop playing. And I was so upset. And I always say, hey, stay even killed. And I got to stay even killed during that time. The 43 seconds, I probably should have let them play it out. It was bang, bang, back-to-back threes. It goes from 18 to 12. And then we have to turn it over, and then it goes to 10, I think, at that time. So I kind of, in my opinion, know how our team is. That's why I took a timeout. Hindsight, I shouldn't have taken the timeout, so I could have had 2 going into the last 2 minutes. So that's where I got to get better. Could we have blitzed Beasley's pick and rolls? Maybe. The tough part about it, he hit, I think, 5. The first 3 that he hit, there's no way we could have blitzed him. We just got to be aware and be close to his body and play our defense. And if we do, it's a lot harder shot than what he faced. But you always think about that. And then at the end of the game, it's like maybe I could have ran this, maybe I could have ran that. So I got to make sure that I own up to my mistakes too, and try to correct them and help them throughout the course of the game a little bit better, just like they do too. We're all in this together. We're all fighting for one common goal. And I thought that today we addressed the things that we needed to address. And the guys understand it. I understand it. We're on a better page, and we're ready to go play the Lakers.
Nature of the business, just how losing, the coach ends up being the face of it a lot of the times. It's just, given your experience and what you've been through, how do you weather a time like this where, that pressure could be mounting?
No, that's part of it. That's why I get paid the money that I get paid. But at the end of the day, you also know when you go through adverse times, you know who was there, who's truly there for you, because people will jump off the bandwagon quick, and the support wherever it may come from may not always be there, But that's part of what I have to deal with, not just for myself, but holding everybody together. And that's what I'm going to do. And I'm okay with anybody criticizing me because, again, I get paid to handle that. I get paid to get us through this. But whether it's anybody that's close, staff, players, friends, family, you'll be able to tell who was on who jumped off a little bit when we had some trying times, and you just always remember that as you go forward, because you know who's truly in the foxhole with you and who's not. But at the end of the day, you best believe I'm gonna handle all the smoke, no matter where that smoke comes from, because that's what I'm paid to do.
Coach Brown, do you sometimes have to relate to a player that it's okay to take accountability, because you always come out and explain, your mishaps or things like that, but do you have to go to a player or players and say, hey, it's okay to take accountability, don't try to hold it in, but just express yourself?
Yeah, you got to remember, I'm dating myself now, but I'm 54 years old, and I've been through a lot in this business. I've been through way more good times than bad times, but I've been through some bad times. And, I've been fortunate, blessed, lucky, however you want to call it, to be around great players and great coaches. And the crazy part about it, I've been around coaches that have won titles, and they have a lot of smoke that they got to face when their little stretch of adversity is not great. And so I've seen them handle it. I've seen the players handle it. And, you see older players in leadership roles or that are just a part of a roster. You see it in football all the time, especially from the quarterback. Throws a couple of interceptions. He says, hey, it's my bad. That's something that's a learned skill, and I started off with I'm 54 because I had to learn that too. As a young guy, you always just kind of look at the X's and O's and you try to spill those out. Well, sometimes the X's and O's may come from the head coach or the coaching staff, or sometimes they may come from a certain player or a group of players or the whole team. And to show that you're human means sometimes you got to show that you're vulnerable. And I think at the end of the day, if we all learn that skill set, I know you're probably talking about Fox, but at the end of the day, it's not just Fox. It's everybody. It's Fox. It's Domas. It's Malik. To be able to say, hey, you know what? I made a mistake here. I made a mistake there. That doesn't mean that it's all on them. But it's just acknowledging, yeah, I'm human. I made a mistake. I can be better, and I'm gonna be better. That's something that you learn through experiences, and you learn from watching others and being around others that are okay taking on the accountability, because it's not easy. You got the pressure of the world on you, and like I said before, there's a lot of smoke there, and not many people want to handle that smoke or know how to handle that smoke. And but it's something that over time you're either going to learn it or you're not. And in my opinion, most great leaders have that skill set. They know how and when to be vulnerable or to accept accountability or whatever. But I think at the end of the day, all of our guys are more than willing to take it on. It's just a matter of understanding how and when.
Mike, two questions. I think you're 4-7 since you made the last change of the lineup. Yeah. How much thought are you giving to maybe going another direction, or is this something you want to keep sticking with for a while?
No, I got to give thought to it, because the reality of it is, before I made the change, we were 6-6, and we lost a couple of games early on. When we were still finding our way. And when I said make the change, I think Kevin started 12 games for us. That's the guy that's been there majority of the time. But it's something that I'm thinking about. But you know, I want to make sure that I don't overreact, you know, and I said this yesterday, you know, or the day before, I think, maybe yesterday, but you know, it's getting close to us, you know, having to put up or shut up, and so I can't wait too long, because it is my job to continue to search and to continue to find the right combinations to put out there. Not saying that it's this guy's fault or that guy's fault, but sometimes mixing it up may bring a better end result because the pieces are different in terms of rotation and the pieces fit better in terms of the rotation. So at the end of the day, it's something that, you know, that's in my head, but you know, I just want to make sure I'm not overreacting to a loss or to a stretch of losses.
And then, you know, for really a couple seasons, there's been a lot of talk about size and length with this team, and whether, you know, maybe there's some deficiencies there. How much are you guys still feeling that, and how does that show up in your mind most on say the defensive end?
Well, I like our team, you know, and I truly believe we can get it done with the guys that we have, and you know, in terms of getting more size and length, I don't even think about that now. Obviously, yeah, you know, you'd like to have 7 guys that are Wemby size, but I hope I don't get fined for that. I'm not tampering. I'm just using him as a size example, but they can still play like Fox and still play like DeMar and all that. It would be good to have guys that big to make it a little harder. But at the end of the day, you know, we can get it done. And, you know, we look at how we play. We understand where we made mistakes and where we can be better. We don't have to, you know, be perfect on every possession, but we understand where we can be better. And, you know, I believe with our guys, it's going to translate. Hopefully it translates sooner than later.
Mike, from
There's so much talk about the players today talking and communicating some of these issues. How much do you need to see that, like, in game from them? Like, for example, you bring up last night, the pace was good, last 6 minutes. How much do you need to see that from guys during the game as opposed to after game reflecting?
No, you know, you do, and there's, as a coach, there's only so much, and I think every guy in that locker room will tell you this. There's only so much you can do for them, all right, to put them in position to have some success. But in real time, they got to feel certain things. If there's a tough matchup for DeMar, and DeMar has the basketball, and I have a quote-unquote weaker and or smaller defender on me, look, I need screw the play. Screw the ISO, I'm going to go sprint to a ball screen because I'm going to set a solid screen, let DeMar come off me, and get that better matchup that he has on him to switch and take me. Now I'm going to go to space. That guy's got to come with me, and now DeMar has a better opportunity of drawing a second guy on a double team and spraying it, and or if that doesn't happen, he's got an easier opportunity to score it. So offensively, those things need to happen better on the floor. Defensively, it's the same thing. If I'm guarding a hot guy and I don't start in the position that you need to start in guarding him, and I'm a step late and I get cracked, well, whoever set the screen on me, screw what our defense is. You just got to switch. You got to emergency switch, and you got to take them, and you got to take away the 3. As a coach, you can teach them that, show them that, we can drill it. But in real time, we all know that we have to make sure that we're better in those situations that aren't scripted, and that we have to just play off of instinct, and we will be better.
Last one, Matt.
Mike, from the outside perspective, at least from our distance, it seems like the on-court communication and leadership.
I think we're getting better with it, you know, and again, these guys haven't necessarily been in leadership roles on, you know, maybe DeMar has, especially in Toronto. I don't know how much he won in Chicago, but I know in Toronto they won at a pretty high level, and he and Kyle, I think, were the leaders of that team. But you know, most of our team hasn't been in a position of leadership in an environment where there's been consistency on the winning side of the ball, and so it takes time. It takes other guys coming in that have won, and that's one of the things that Jay's good. Jay's been to 2 finals, and so listening to him talk at times is better than me talking, because it's from your peer. And so to be around guys that have won at a high level and know what they did when he was with that team in the finals, he was with 2 different teams in the finals, gives a different perspective than what I can say all the time, because I can keep saying it, but it's, and I'm not their parents. I'm not their parents. I'm not their parents. I'm not I'm not gonna say it 26 times, but I'm not their parents. But it's like, if you're around somebody all the time and you're an adult or whatever, and they're not kids. They're not kids. They're not kids. They're gonna get tired of you or tune your voice out a little bit, and so to have some accountability amongst them on the floor and in the locker room is always a good thing. And you can't have enough of it. Do we have more now today than a month ago? Not even close. We got a lot more. And even 3 months ago, a whole lot more. But we need more. We need more, because at the end of the day, every team that I've been a part of as a coach, every successful team that I've been a part of as a coach, the leadership does come from the coach to a certain degree, but it more so comes from within. And there's nothing better than having leadership from within that permeates throughout the rest of the team.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you.
Oh, my bad.
You're good.